So Natalie, Charlie, Julia, and I and Anselmo got together end of last year to try to figure out how do we move the BEL language forward. And one of the things that came out of that is we need a process by which we put together BEL proposals. And it was kind of an action item for me to figure out a way to do that. And this is a proposal for how to do BEL enhancement proposals. This is not, but I thought about using Google Docs, I thought about using a wiki, I thought about a lot of different ways of approaching this. And I kept coming back to GitHub because GitHub tracks the versions of everything that happens. It's very clear how things were changed, why things were changed. Doing pull requests makes it easy for people that don't sort of own the proposal to make changes and have those incorporated. So there are challenges with working with GitHub. One of the things that I am volunteering to do is if you're not comfortable with GitHub, I can help you make the proposal or make changes to a proposal, and then hopefully we get more volunteers that can help those of us that aren't as conversant with Git. So Natalie, just for your sake, I don't use Git CLI for doing pull requests. I use a GUI client because it just gets painful. I have a tutorial for submitting a BEL proposal that goes you through the steps of making a pull request for this. I cribbed a lot of this from the Python enhancement proposal process, and in fact, I cribbed a lot of it almost egregiously, changing it in some cases only slightly. What? It was egregious. And there's kind of multiple types of enhancement proposals. Some of them are specific to the language. Natalie has one that she'd like to propose around annotations, and that has more to do with the BEL nanopub as opposed to the language specifically. And some could be operational in how we handle various things. There's multiple parts, but let's go ahead and take a look at the template. Actually, no. Let's go ahead and take a look at a draft. So I went ahead and proposed the first BEL enhancement proposal document for population abundance. And we have an abstract where we talk about what we want to do. The kind of preamble part gives the basics of what's the identifier, what's the status, and who the author is, and Natalie will be added to this because she has been, I left a lot of things out on this that she highlighted. And I actually I wish I could say I did that on purpose, but I actually meant it to be a minimal with additional comments to flesh it out, because these should be community driven. Somebody proposes something, but then we keep refining it until we're happy with it. And after we get done looking at this, what we want to talk about or discuss is how do we kind of solidify these proposals and bless them by the community, and then go ahead and get them as official BEL. But the goal is basically you need to put in use cases, discuss what. This is something that Natalie suggested, putting in discussion points of why we should, whatever questions or things to consider for people that are reading over it, or outstanding questions. This is a proposal. These are the pieces I'm not sure about. I don't know the right solution to. So can somebody else join in? The specification it basically shows how this should be implemented. And then the reference implementation and note on backwards compatibility so that we can figure out, is this a version change or what kind of version change is it? And I also put in an example of the BEL specification because this would be how it is implemented, how a BEL language change would be implemented by creating a new section in the BEL specification file. Because I've pretty much proposed that the BEL specification file be the canonical aspect of the BEL language, because it's computable compared to our previous BEL language document, which is not computable and verifiable. So that's my proposal for how to handle BEPS. If somebody wants to come up with a different approach and put that out there, we'll just do a community. Go ahead.
This is an alternative. Not that I don't think this is a bad idea.
You don't think it's a bad idea, but it is.
This is not a bad idea. Could you also do the issue system? That was my question.
Yeah.
And the issue system also allows you to have a template. You can have
Mm-hmm.
different templates. You can
Yeah.
choose which template you want to start with. And then it also has commenting positions. The problem with this is it's not written anymore. And
Yeah.
you won't be able to see changes over time.
And I thought about using issues in GitHub for this, but one, you can't actually put a full document in effectively, and you can't really track the changes, as you pointed out. It is a good place to put issues that are outstanding questions for the documents and link it back into the document. So one of the nice things about pull request is you can make a recommendation, a pull request. For those of you that aren't that familiar with pull requests in GitHub, each pull request or change to the repository comes with a comments where you can actually discuss what's going on, make changes, discuss those changes until you decide to accept that pull request. And then you can make a pull request on what was originally a pull request. It gives you a lot of flexibility in how you can propose changes, comment against those changes, have people review it, and then accept them. And everything is transparent and tracked. It's not my dream system. I just haven't figured out a better way of capturing these documents and the review and comment sections associated with them. Well, the tutorial, yeah, you can edit directly in GitHub, and that's another reason. And the tutorial I have on the front page of the repository steps through each and every step of doing that. I tried to handle every piece of using the web interface for this, for editing those. And it's actually pretty easy. The tutorial looks forever long, but you really go click, 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 done.
Another thing is that you can even set up a formal way to accept the PR, like how many independent reviewers need to click accept before it can be merged. And that's a bit distributed, right? So there doesn't need to be a single bottleneck person.
Mm-hmm.
But you can say if you have 3 independent reviewers who are okay with this, then it can be merged or something.
I hadn't even thought about,
There's a way to
and that kind of gives a potential way of handling the committee. The committee is whoever has reviewer rights on the repository. Pardon?
You can even take it a step further with some sort of continuous integration where there's actually templates when someone goes to pull request, and the template will already there ready for them to paste it whatever they want to.
Okay. So, yeah, think about it. Please take a look at the website. I'll send a link around to everybody. It's as soon as I can after this is done. And, let's go ahead.
Maybe we'll talk about this in a bit, but there should be some procedure for how these get accepted or what kind of people will interview.
Well, that's what we're about to talk about. And we just need to turn the chairs around so they're facing that way, semicircle as you suggested, Charlie, and we'll take the camera, the video camera, and point it at us, and hopefully the audio will be good. But this is the last part of the projector we really needed.